Hi everyone, it's Professor Hall. So you have officially made it through your first of two papers. You're halfway there. Um, Today we're starting off the class this week with Maya Angelou's work, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And I wanted to include a couple of memoirs in this class because I think that they are really interesting ways of showing women who might, for various reasons, be disenfranchised, have their rights taken away or limited, and then through a gradual process, they become empowered and they have this character arc, like you would see in a novel, of moving from being very lacking power to having choice, to being a strong woman, to having the ability to make their lives better, right? And so a couple of things that I'd like you to think about with this book. I talk about this in my lecture, but this is part of the Black arts movement, which happened in the 1960s and 70s. So a lot of the works during that time were focused on the civil rights movement, which she was also a part of, and looking at the racial inequalities, and in Maya Angelou's case, also the gender inequalities, and how people could possibly overcome that discrimination. So, fighting against the oppression of women and minorities. That's a huge reason she published this book. So, think about her message to people in each of the chapters, how it feels to be an African American woman living in a small town in the South. How it feels for then that same person to travel out to California, where maybe there's a little bit more racial equality. Maybe. We'll see. Those kind of things. Think really about her message to readers. The other thing I want you to consider is the way that this story is told. I have a clip in one of my lectures of Dr. Angelou talking about her memory and how her memory works. And one of the things that she says is it's all or none at all. So the things that she does remember are very, very vivid. But because of how our memories work, it's not completely linear, meaning that there are a few things that are kind of out of order. But the beautiful thing about memory is that it really is completely from her perspective. So again, like some of the other books we've read, we are getting this first person perspective. But here, because it's her earlier life and she's kind of overcome some of the stuff that she's talking about, she has a wonderful perspective on what happened to her and how it affected her, and how it, in some cases, it made her stronger. The last thing I want to say, just very briefly to wrap up, is that this book does include a scene of sexual assault, and a lot of my discussion about the book has to do with the trauma that she endured, and then later how she, you'll hear me say overcome a lot, how she overcame that trauma. So if that is a trigger point for you, you let me know, and you can contact me and we can talk about alternatives. We do have a bonus book, right? Dietland. So that could be an option for you as well if you're concerned about that. And that's all I have to say. Otherwise, I really, this book, I think, maybe more than the others, has had a huge impact on how people of color are viewed. The other ones didn't deal with people of color, but my point is that this book had a great impact on society and on changes that occurred with the treatment of African Americans because her work was so popular. So I'm really excited to share it with you. Yeah, my words are failing me right now. It's a wonderful book and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.